Okay, now you can hear me. What's going on? So it's weird that we started this on Friday and now we're finishing it on Tuesday. So it's kind of like we're moving very quickly for like no reason. I didn't even have to change the title really. If you want to see the start of this, it is up on the Twitch VODs, obviously. But if you want to avoid those Twitch commercials, it is also up in my Discord. I don't promote this enough, but in the Discord, there's Fire Emblem memes, but there's also I throw the VODs up here uh, in the announcements section for anyone that wants to see them early. I've been banking YouTube stuff over and over and over. Finishing quickly means I have time to see Morbius. No one has time to see Morbius. Everyone is too busy. That's the problem. That's the problem. Is everyone's too busy. Um, so yeah, if you wanna watch the vid on YouTube, Discord gets it early. So hop in there. You don't have to chat. You can just grab the vids. They're gonna start popping up on YouTube at some point. I'm trying to like bank a bunch of them because I noticed that I think my YouTube will do better if I do like a season of something. So I think I might cut some stuff that I'm not really into, keep some stuff, and kind of shuffle it up a little bit, maybe. I'm not sure. Maybe release like entire pages that are like 3 videos all at once, stuff like that. Um, in releasing stuff on YouTube, I'm also thinking about we're going to be playing some Fire Emblem on Saturday. And I was thinking about making a push next week to play as much Fire Emblem on stream as possible. And while doing that, I was thinking about like maybe releasing all of the Fire Emblem stuff like all at once. Trying to do like instead of trickling it out, just be like, here's everything. Here's the whole game, the full playthrough, all 20 vids all at once on YouTube. So I don't know. We'll see. I know you guys probably are not here for Fire Emblem. That y'all, because y'all consistently vote it down. Y'all consistently shout down my interests. So we can get into some Photoshop. Okay. Just arranging the screen over here. Give me 1 second. Dozens, yes, I know. Dozens of Fire Emblem fans. Okay, so this is where we left it. I did one thing. I did one thing while you were gone. While you were gone. You left me. All right, first of all. And I didn't want to bring it up, but now that you brought it up, I'm a little offended by that. While you were gone, I did carve out pixel perfect windows in here so that if you watch the pixeling here, pixel perfect. I created a mask because I know we're going to be like carving out these windows a little bit, adding a little bit of shine to them, and making that selection super boring. It's just super boring. So I did that on my own. Okay. Let's talk metal. So it looks like we don't really have to do anything here because he's behind the glass. And here he's kind of getting knocked around, so we might kind of like paint that stuff a little bit, but for now, let's talk about metal. I should have kind of had maybe I'm looking up some metal texture on the fly. All this metal texture sucks for what we want. This is probably something I should have done in addition to painting out the windows. let's look at cars. Let's look at chrome on cars. So this car is obviously ridiculous. It's totally absurd, but it's chrome. Chrome is reflecting everything around it. It also has this like super high shine, but the chrome reflections kind of contour to the lines of the body here. So like this fender flares out, so it's like creating this distortion that you can see like here and here. So it's you got to kind of keep that in mind when you start to paint in some metal. So every single thing that's metal is going to start in a place like this, where this is like high reflections, you know, like basically like a mirror. And then it's going to go, but you still have like these kind of like blobby kind of like conforming to like this is a big flat piece, so you're getting like a mirror effect, but you get like kind of these weird shapes and stuff into the metal. Everything with metal is going to be from this to very, very dull. So if you wanted to like, if you wanted to start in a place like this and then dull it out, you know, you could just take like a gray and start to just like dull it out. Maybe even, you know, do one of these instead with the levels, if I can get my mind around it. Start to kind of like pull out the ups and downs, like knock the head and legs out of it. You start to get duller metal that way. So you want to think about it like a mirror, and then dulled and dulled and dulled. You're going to start to lose detail and lose detail and lose detail. So when we are working on this, we want to think about like the contours that are being put down, and we want to think about how do we kind of like show reflections. And the easiest way that I found to do these things is to kind of like, so we have our robot here, and he nasty. I mean, you know it, I know it. But we're going to try to amp up the reflection just a little bit. I knew we threw a grad through him before. I do want him to come forward, which means he's going to be the darkest thing in this image. But let's not let that handicap us. So we're going to throw like some screen. We're getting some pretty highs, pretty lows. We're going to take what we have now down here, and we're just going to take a brush, 50%, and try to like figure out where these shapes are going to be. Like, how do you paint out these weird like distortions within the metal? And it's just 50% of like the darkest edge here, and I'm just like painting it out. And some of this is going to look right, and some of it's going to look kind of wrong, but here's the thing, like it's like creating an effect of metal. We're trying to we're basically trying to like cartoon it, if that makes any sense. Like, it doesn't need to look exactly like metal, but it needs to look like a cartoon of metal. I don't know if that makes sense, but it makes sense in my brain. It's the same way we're going to tackle the windows over here. Like, in comics, a lot of like windows and Windows get like symbols rather than reality. Um, like in reality, you don't see. Well, we can talk. We can handle it with the windows when we get there. But we're trying to create like the symbol of metal. We're trying to make your brain think it's metal without it actually. We're using like metal textures and stuff like that. Because you start to use metal textures, and then it's like you go down this like rabbit hole of, well, we're using metal textures here. That means maybe we should start using cloth textures on Psylocke, and then it's like, oh well, maybe we'll start using some like other textures, like maybe we need to use an ice texture, and then like the whole thing kind of gets away from you. It's very easy for that to happen, and you just like as a colorist, the main thing that you want is readability, and so we're gonna try to like bake that readability in with something that is easily recognizable. Obviously, we're getting the highest highs and lowest lows where we put the center of our radial grad, which is like here in his chest, which is fine. That's where we want people to be looking, center mass here. So we've kind of gone in and done a little bit of painting for the metal, and it's starting to look like metal. But we can also like add some highlights and kind of like personalize some of it. Like, so we have this little section here, but like, I don't know, maybe it's kind of reading too bright, or maybe it could be reading brighter, like that. Maybe the section over here could be darker. We can dialing it up apparently because we have the wrong brush. But like, just make it a photo. Yeah, exactly. You joke, but like, I feel like there's a subset of comic readers who are like, I want the most realistic thing, and then like when they get that, they're like, this sucks actually, but I still want it. I'm still gonna tell people I want it. Readers don't know what they want. As you know how I can tell? You know how I can tell readers don't know what they want? Because of the DC round robin thing that's going on right now. I had a book on that. I had a book in that, by the way. Y'all didn't pick it. In fairness, I didn't know that I had a book in that until it was like until the book had already lost, basically. I thought I was just doing a cover. Then they were like, "Hey, we didn't get picked," and I was like, "Picked for what now?" Oh. So we're just putting in like painting in some highlights, with like these. So cartoonists do this a lot. This section right here, with the neck, where they kind of like will paint in these like, kind of like, I don't even know how to describe it. They're small pieces that kind of like overlap with each other, and they do this thing where they'll put like a hard shadow, but they'll break it in so that you can see the seams. So we could kind of lean into that. First of all, we can like knock out these smaller parts here, and then we can add a highlight to this seam. Add a highlight to this seam. Maybe even bring it up more than that, like something like this. So now it kind of reads a little better. One of the things that we can do to kind of like add believability as metal is to add bounce light, which we're going to do, because metal should bounce a little light, just a little bit more than skin. So we're gonna do that. eventually. Once I get the rest of this to a place where I want it. Let's see what else we got. Man, I am tired today. uh, Allergies kind of kicked my butt, and then I don't know, man. I keep like my last couple of days of work have been like I always get super tired when when I have to like multitask a lot of stuff. Um, oh, by the way, I'm just pulling like if you haven't noticed, I'll be like, I'm gonna pull this color, I'm gonna pull this color. So we have the highest highs here, and I'm gonna use them as like highlights in here. So that way we're not throwing, 400,000 colors down here. Like, so I'm kind of just picking from the palette that's already established. Uh, but yeah, when I get um, bombarded with like a million small tasks, basically my brain turns to molasses through the day. It's difficult for me to do that stuff. All right, we're getting there. We're getting there with the metal. These are like little shines that I'm putting in too. Like this little stuff, these little dots help to make it feel more like metal. These little like glimmers. And we're gonna amp those up with some like actual shines on like a screen layer. All right, so his shoulder's kind of wild. We can actually kind of like pull a grad. It's super easy to get lost in like creating these like wavy kind of metal components and then forget the overall image of the overall volume of the object. So we're going to try to not do that. By kind of throwing a grad through here, throwing a grad through there. It's just like all this stuff with metal is just like throw grads through it until it starts to look convincing, and then when you start to get it to look convincing, you back off because you don't want to overwork it. We're really muted out his the highlights over here, but that's fine. Maybe it's not fine. Maybe I'm fixing it. There's no way to tell for sure. I think we're getting there. This looks weird as heck, so I just kind of don't like it at all. So we're gonna resync it. Hello. Hello. All right. Man, a lot of comic book coloring is like this. Just washing the dishes. Like once the important artistic stuff is down, it's like, okay, metal. Now I'm going to do my metal thing. Okay, so it's starting to get there. I'm gonna take this pink and put it over the edge of his shoulder. Probably wouldn't reach all the way down here, but I kind of want to like emphasize the space a little bit. There we go. We could even do something like that. We'll take a couple shines there. All right, let's do like a little bit of bounce light. Kind of want to put like a little bit of this blue in here, this aqua that we have. Just make him like pick up a little bit of it. We're putting this in. All right, so when we do like a kind of secondary bounce light within the shadows of the original metal color, we want to keep in mind that we don't want it to compete with the brighter highlight. And if it starts to compete with the brighter highlight, we got to bring up the brighter highlight or bring down the actual bounce. Because it's secondary. This is secondary light. This is just like light that the metal has like picked up and reflected more than anything else, you know? Like it's not receiving the direct sunlight, it's getting the bounce light from the bottom kind of thing. So I'm just gonna do like 70, maybe lower than that. So somebody popped in my Discord today. They didn't chat a whole lot. They're not like in there often, but they were talking about trying to draw on a iPad and like what kind of iPad do people recommend and that sort of thing. And it got me thinking about like, you know, size of iPad versus size of Cintiqs and stuff, and how I've got a 24-inch Cintiq and it is starting to show its age a little bit. And I'm like, man, I should really replace this thing. And then I started looking up the Cintiq stuff. They make a like, so I haven't looked at Cintiq products probably in 6 years, maybe more. They make like a little remote control that's got like all the buttons and dials from that I use on the side of this Cintiq on this monitor as like a standalone thing, and it's wireless. And I'm like, I think I might need that. Like, I even though this one has this Cintiq has buttons on the side of it, and I guess the new ones don't, and this is their solution. I was like, man, it'd be nice to have that thing wirelessly in my hand so I don't have to hold the side of the Cintiq. Like, you guys can't tell because of the camera angle, but like I'm holding the side of the Cintiq while I'm like working, and it leads me to hunch over a little more. I'm like, maybe I wouldn't hunch over as much if I fixed this. All right, so you see how like the blue is starting to make not only highlight like another aspect of the metal, but it's also creating this idea that it's like reflecting more of the stuff around it, which is rad, which is exactly what we want it to do. And you know, you can just put it anywhere that there's like a darker area. It's looking a little weird in here. Man, this area is problematic for me. But that's okay. We can fix it. Robot armpits. Why do they even have them? No one knows. Alright. Alright. We're getting this bounce light. Look at this. We're doing it. Look at us. Put some in his face and around the collar. So he's got kind of like these weird shapes in the face where I can kind of go nuts with this bounce light, like underneath his weird lip thing there, and then these like kind of like weird parts. I'm just gonna drop it in there. That way he's kind of like picking it up all over the place, picking up that color. Apologies, by the way, we are running the air purifier. Like I said before, allergies have been kicking my butt. That was being problematic. We're gonna push these little spines that he has back a little bit because they're starting to fight with the overall like, so the strong silhouette here is like this edge of his face and like his shoulder here, like these spiny parts are part of the character design but not necessarily creating a strong silhouette, which is very important. Like Psylocke has this amazing silhouette, and this guy's getting muddled in here. So we wanted to try to fix that. Okay, so the metal is starting to look like metal. Now, if it's like you get to this part, and you're like, well, it looks good, but like, it's not really as high highs and low lows as you want it. You can select all the metal, just open up the levels, and just like pull it in. You get like a little bit higher. You can keep going. Like you can get like real bright, real metal. Now, if you keep pulling it like this, we're also upping the saturation. So you want to like go in and then be like, okay, let's get back control over this. Like saturation down a little bit. So like this is pre-levels, this is post-levels. I don't know that we're going to be doing some level stuff at the very end. So I'm not really sweating like getting the levels absolutely right now. But we can amp it up just like a tad. Just a little bit is fine. Okay. Let's trying to think if there's anything else that we necessarily need to do right this second. On him, probably not. We should probably start working on Psylocke and the smoke. So I was thinking about doing some photo bashing on this, and I'm still not sure if I want to do it or not. I was thinking about trying to photo bash some clouds into the background, but I don't know if it's going to look weird. It might look weird. Let's make a mask under the line art. New layer. Let's make a mask. So we have a mask here. Everything black is not going to shine through. everything white is going to shine through. Now, how do we find stuff that we can use to kind of get in here? Well, I've been starting to use stock images. Now, stock images are kind of expensive. We've talked about them before on stream. So this is Adobe Stock Photography. I just searched for clouds. I have 3 assets remaining up here. So we could find some clouds that might work for us and download them. We don't want anything like this. Like this is too much. Something like this might be good. We want kind of like a down shot. Like we're standing down and looking up because that's what's happening in the panel. I know that there's like people who are like, never use this stuff. But like, and I was like that for a long, long time. Like never use photos, never use them at all. Like, okay, so we're gonna buy the license for this. I've been trying to build, so it just saved it to the thing. We are going to copy. I did not even look to see what the size of this thing was. Here it is. Here it is. What's the size of this? 4,000 by 1,700. That's okay. And we can use like pieces of it, I guess. So a lot of people, I just found another one that I kind of like this one. This is a super dramatic photograph. Oh, it's not a photograph. Look at this. It's a render. It has to be a render. Unless this is like the canopy of the plane getting reflected in the moon. That's a neat one. This one actually is probably really good too. We're going to license this one. So the Photoshop, because this is Adobe's stock program, it will save it to my libraries automatically, and it also downloads. So I can click it. It opens up in the other image here. We can copy it. We can paste it. Okay, so let's start with this one. Let's copy it. This doesn't work for this. We made this mask. The name is escaping me. I'm telling you, I'm tired. We made this mask. It's not working. We're going to make a group. Because every time we paste something in, we're going to chuck this layer now. Every time we're going to put this in here. All right. So now every time we paste something in, it should like pop up. So, all right. This is, you can kind of position it how you want. Like, the reason that I was thinking about doing this photo bash is because in order to get her psychic knife to glow, she needs to be against something that's like not just white. Because you try to make something glow on white, it's not gonna glow. You can kind of tilt it. And by photo bash, I mean we can kind of like, doesn't have to be the exact photo, and we're gonna try to, here, can we incorporate stuff from this? We can. Like drop this up here. I like this top cloud. Maybe like that. Because I want this dark image where her knife is. So we can kind of like add a mask to this one and try to blend it on the edges. I know this is like, seems like cheating. But yo, you should definitely cheat. You should absolutely 100% cheat. I bought the license. I'm going to use it. All right, so we've kind of like bashed 2 photos together, but it's still kind of like looking wonky. we're gonna take this, right? And we're gonna add a gradient map to it. So this is just me trying to control the color a little bit more. We're gonna take our like darkest. Oh my god, we selected white because we're in. I wanted to select. Excuse me, gradient map. Excuse me. This one. This one. This one. There we go. And our whitest whites. We can kind of like play around, you know, like try to get the gradient map to look as much as good as we want it to. So this color down here at the bottom on the left side is going to be the darkest color. So we can kind of do that. And then this lightest color, this green that is currently, we can kind of like be like, all right, let's do like a yellow. We could do a yellow. That might look pretty good. What if we do like a deep blue down here? Like that. Or even darker than that. We could even start putting down some blacks. Yes. Yes. Okay. But we don't want it to be this dark. This is a lot. This is a lot. So we're going to throw some grads through it and stuff. The gradients will also kind of like take the image and soften it a little so it looks less like a photograph than it'll look more like you painted it in and less like a photograph if we throw some grads through it. So we're gonna try to do that. So we can kind of take like this blue, right? Put a new layer above the gradient map and kind of like, the blue's not really working. We could take this dark color. That's not really working. Let's take this. What if we do a yellow on the bottom? Screen it. It's okay. We got to do that in a new thing because it's screening on nothing. Looks okay. What if we did like an orange? I don't know. It's kind of getting away from us just a little bit. We could soften the map a little bit. Yeah, that helps. Play with the sliders. This is that screened layer on the bottom. Add a little purple in there for Psylocke's costume. It's looking a little photo-y. This is why I don't normally do a lot of like photo stuff, because this is why. It starts to look too photo-y. We could always fade the photos a little bit. Oh, that does not work. We could fade the photos a little bit by adding our own kind of taste and texture. This is kind of getting out of control. The weather changed on the page? Yeah. We're kind of getting a little out of control, I feel like. We're losing the thread of... Blame the photo on Storm, yeah. She does strike Nimrod with lightning in the previous page. I feel like it's not working necessarily exactly how I would like it to. What if we just yellowed it up a little? That works a little better. We can kind of take like this high yellow too. We could paint in some clouds. Don't we have cloud brushes? Kind of. paint in like some of this like textury stuff. What if we took this blue and painted that in? Ooh, now we're cooking with gas. Now it's starting to look like they're in the same place. It doesn't have to be super bright, you know. We gotta fade it back a little, make it look like less of the clouds are the focus. Basically, I don't want you to be like, I don't know, hit in the face with like photograph, you know. Like, you don't want that. You want like it to be subtle. We're darkening it on purpose a little bit. We're gonna so we have this rim light around Psylocke and Nimrod, and I want to amp that up with maybe some rays and some screening. So we're gonna try to do that as well. Let's open these libraries and wait a minute while they load. So I've got this thing, and I end up doing this every time. I don't know why I don't just save it like this, but we'll copy that. So we have this burst, right? And we're gonna fade it just like this. Obviously, this is not how we're going to color, but I just want to be able to see it in relation to the rest of the drawing, because we're going to take it and kind of like warp it. Because I don't need the rays on the other side of it, but I do want the rays on like one side of it. So. I don't know if this is going to work, by the way. 100% flying by the seat of our pants here. It rendered. We'll make this black. Okay, so we're gonna copy this and put it as a mask, and then we are going to make this yellow and screen it. And then we're going to have to put it above the line art. So obviously this doesn't work right now. But maybe it will. We need to definitely grab him. He doesn't want any of this. He doesn't want any of this. We're popping him forward. And we want Psylocke to have some of it. So we're going to do like... Oh gosh, we could do put it in a group. This is like super complicated. We're making this very complicated, but I'm trying to be as least destructive as possible. I'm gonna put it in a group, and then we're gonna fade it just a little bit. There we go. So okay, it's looking okay. However, the burst is like, it doesn't feel warm, it feels dingy right now. So we have to figure out how to get it to not feel dingy. I'm not worried about like what's in the blacks, but I am worried about like maybe we just like put a white core on it, but that's not really working either. Maybe it's because we're screening on top of these clouds that are feeling a little dingy where we want the sun. So let's take just like a yellow and screen it right over everything that's happening here. We're going to take this entire thing, combine it into one image, because we're satisfied with the clouds, but we do want to screen in Hopefully, if this thing is cooperative. It's not being cooperative. We're just gonna do normal. You know what? We're gonna put it above everything. Screen it. Weird. Let me think about this for a second. There's something going on in the... in the layers. This is why I don't use a lot of layers, because I feel like I get wrecked. I get yeah, I don't know why it's doing that. Huh. It looks okay. It looks a little bit muddy. I wonder if we... This set to screen, that set to screen. It's looking a little weird. Man, maybe we just abandon the flare. Is this why? Is this the screen that we're doing? Oof. Oof. We may need to, like, paint it in. It's just like putting down color. Let's paint it in. Fuck it. This is not where I wanted to put our time, but like it's being kind of ornery, and like now I'm kind of like, well, like we could just fix it. Let's put the sun in. So we're going to do a sun like right here. We are going to put some clouds in front. So let's grab this like green. We can take like light up some of the edges here. And this is going to have a flare over it, so it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to kind of like have a hot center. I keep thinking that like maybe the flare is like being dictated by the gradient map, but we got rid of the gradient map, so it's definitely not that. It is definitely not the gradient map. All right, it's starting to look better. Fixing the black will make it feel a little better. Maybe we pull some of these. Make these like brighter. I don't know if this does anything. We're like deep in the tank now. This is not going the way I wanted it to go. So right now, the black areas look very dull. We can fix that with a like redder black. By redder black, I mean that this is the mixture for the black that we're currently using, 6060 4100. That's what we mostly use in print. If I want to warm something up though, I'll use a mix that is 80, 80, 100, takes all the cyan out of it. So we can not set it to screen and warm it up. Which is kind of working. Kind of. Still only kind of, though. It's a little bit of a hot mess. We got a little bit of a hot mess on our hands right now. We're just going to keep working it, though, until we get it. Maybe the clouds are the wrong color. Maybe they are. Ooh, I think we're getting it. I think we're getting it. All right, let's darken up Storm. Maybe we're getting it. Maybe. Man, it's so hard to tell right now. It still feels dull to me. We're in CMYK. It's just, it feels dull. Which is like the opposite of what you want a superhero comic to feel like. Like that feels better than this. It's the flare. The flare is the problem. Let's go back to the flare. Is it the wrong color? Maybe? Maybe we just gotta dial it down? Yeah, dialing it down actually helped. Because it's the problem. That worked because it is the problem. TM. Too much J.J. Abrams. Yeah, apparently. I'm going to make this a little more red. Make this a little more purple. We're going to mess with this a little more at the end, but yeah, feels a little nuts. So we're popping the robot forward, by the way, not only with the flare, but with the fact that he's like a blue-gray, and now we've warmed the hell out of Psylocke. So he's popping way forward. Man, this page, not easy. Not easy. I thought, man, this is why I feel like you can never, when you're like working on art and stuff, I feel like you can never just like rest on your laurels. Like that never happens. Even when you have like as much experience as I do, and like, you know, you think, oh, I'll just like post in some clouds and it'll work, and you know, we'll move on and that'll be fine. Like, man, it'll just throw you for a loop, and then you're just like, well, I guess that did not work. It's a weird feeling, like having this much expertise and like still getting like something that like does not work, and you're just like, why? I mean, part of it has to be that I am actually kind of tired. I was actually working on a cover before dinner that needed a correction, and the correction was a huge correction. So it's like did that thing where it like cascades all the other color on the correction. And I was like trying to do it, and my brain was just like in a funk, like trying to wrap my mind around exactly how to do this thing. Um, it sucked. It sucks when you're tired. Don't work while you're tired. All the bad work I've ever done, by the way, has been linked to me being exhausted. There's a pro tip for you. Don't work tired. I've when I was younger, I used to think that getting up early was for ding dongs, the salarymen of Japan, not for artists. And then now, I love getting up early and getting a lot of work done. It's just better. It's just better. We're just colorizing the psychic knife here. We could try to make the fabric here kind of like quietly blended into the sun a little bit back here. I don't know how this is going to look. It might look terrible, but we're going to give it a shot. Because if we can make the like fabric kind of like blend into the sun, it might go a long way to convincing, making the sun feel convincing. Maybe. Maybe that's good. Maybe it is. Who knows at this point? Who knows? I've taken too much psychic damage by trying to photo bash those clouds in that I can no longer tell if we are on the correct path or not. Man, I feel like it just like doesn't work. The flare just like doesn't work, but we're sticking with it. But if you wake up at noon, you could skip a meal and just have brunch. You're not wrong about that. Those are the days. Those are the days off, though. Okay, we're gonna take this cloud of whatever smoke stuff that he's got going on, and we're just gonna run a grad through the thing, and then fade it way back in the back by colorizing the line art. Man, I was so sure that we were going to get this done today. I was so sure. And now I'm like, we're not going to get this done today. We spent way too long trying to figure out this problem that we made ourselves. We made our own problems. Like a bunch of ding-dongs. We're going to carve out all this smoke, though. Might as well do all of it. All of it. I'm going to try changing the layer type from screen to something else. I don't know what I'm going to change it. Maybe color dodge. See if that like works a little bit better for what I want. We'll see. All right. So it works really good back here. Not so much up here. Oh, and there we go. We were in the psychic knife territory. Okay, let's... There we go, there we go. That looks good. We're getting the smoke done. It's looking better. Let's take an orange. Oh yeah, let me is it because this is pass through and not screen? Is that the reason? Did that do anything? It didn't do anything. Let's set this to normal. My dog is chomping her Mr. Bill toy that is screaming, oh no. I kind of feel like that. I feel it. I mean, we could do like a darken of a really muddy sky. Maybe lighten works? This is so like last ditch effort of like trying to figure this out. This reeks of desperation. I don't know, man. I don't like it. What if we just Oh. Did we fix it? I think we fixed it. Son of a bitch, I'm back in. Okay. It's looking better now. So stupid. Where did I leave off in Fire Emblem? That is a loaded question. I dropped it into the Fire Emblem Discord, the last episode that we did. I have to rewatch it. I know it's like... So we're going to play on Saturday. I know that it's like... At this point, like, trying to get people in on watching some Fire Emblem when I'm like, you know... We're doing point 14 Fire Emblem, you know, like I know that's a tall order to ask people to watch that. Part 14, jump in. All the old parts are gone. Like, don't worry about it. But Fire Emblem is about playing the same game over and over and over again. So hardcore Fire Emblem fans won't care where I jump in. And then also, I kind of don't care. Kind of just want to jump in. Like, I know it's going to be terrible for the stream, but I'm going to have a fun time with it. I don't know exactly where I left off. I got to watch the VOD this week, but got to reorient myself when we actually play. I don't know if we're going to keep this color, but we're going to use it as a placeholder for now since there's no other colors on this layer with this. It's close to the psychic knife, but it isn't actually the psychic knife. Yeah. I had to double check. But yeah, I'm excited to get back into Fire Emblem. I do want to finish it. And I feel like Ike is still pre-promoted. Ike is promoted. Boyd is promoted. I think those are the only two. Wait, Ike is not promoted. Ike leveled out. Ike is at like level 20. I'm not using Ike anymore. He's not promoted, but I'm not able to use him anymore because it's just like throwing experience away. Does that make sense? It makes sense, right? Yeah, we haven't gotten to. I think Ike will promote at the time skip whenever we get to that. And I think we're probably close to that. Sounds about halfway. Yeah, I think we're about halfway. If how long to beat is any indication, I think we're about halfway. Because if I've gotten Ike to level 20, but he is not promoted yet, we have to be very close to the end of it, or at least the halfway point, close to the promotion and the time skip. It feels like it's leading us in that direction too. I think story wise, it's like we've met all the people in all the lands, and I think at some point Ike is going to become king or not want to be king, or something is going to happen like that. That's just conjecture. It looks like it's heading in that direction, and I think it's going to happen soon. That time skip and that, like, please be king, Ike. I also got some items that are, like, kind of weird. I think they give promoted units special moves or something. I'm really curious about that. I'm excited to use them on Ike specifically, to see what he gets as, like, a special move. So I'm trying to. I know we're still using pink, which doesn't really fit, but it fits up here. It doesn't fit down here. Top of the robot works. Bottom of the robot doesn't. We're gonna throw a grad through it, but we're just using the thing as a placeholder. I can't remember exactly what it is. Like I said, I gotta watch the VOD. But I'm excited to do a big push in Fire Emblem. We Shannon's gonna be out of town, so I'm gonna try to stream next week. I'm gonna try to stream every day that week. So every evening I should be live, and then on the weekend I'm gonna try to do a little bit extra. So hopefully there'll be 2 Fire Emblem streams on Saturday. We'll see, and then maybe 2 more on Sunday. Try to be like a big push through it. I'm also gonna play the Japanese train import game Dasha de Go, Deska de Go, something like that. It's in Japanese. I got kind of addicted to it. I was thinking about playing Occult Scrolls. It's what they do. Yeah, I think I have a couple of those. I'm not sure. But bless you. I was thinking about doing like a Japanese day, and then doing not only Japanese train games, but also doing pachinko stuff. But then I played some pachinko stuff, and it's very boring. Like, I was so disappointed I bought a pachinko controller for my Sega Saturn, and then I played pachinko stuff on my Sega Saturn, and I was like, this is actually not fun. It's, for anybody who doesn't know, pachinko is basically just slot machine stuff. It's like you put you put your money in, right? And then the balls come down, and you don't have any control over where the balls come down. And then some of them go into like this thing that triggers a slot machine, and that's it. And then you get more balls, and like you can kind of just like set the machine to play itself. Like it'll just sit there and like, you know, you lock in like a velocity that you want the balls to pop up on, and that's it. That is the whole game. And I was like, you know what? Maybe with actual money. Yeah, see that's the thing is like there's no actual gambling happening within the pachinko that I'm playing. It's like there's nothing on the line. It's like playing it's like playing those, what are those terrible slot machines or apps that are like getting advertised on like channels now? I forget what they're called. Slotomania. It's like playing Slotomania on your phone. It's like I don't know why, I don't know what we're doing here. I don't know. Fun for some, not for me. I wasn't having a good time, so I packed up my pachinko controller mentally. It's still over there somewhere. Um, and instead, I played some House of the Dead because the remake came out, and then everybody said the remake is really bad, but it made me kind of want to play some House of the Dead, and that's on my Saturn, and I haven't tried the Saturn version before, so I was like, I'm gonna try the Saturn version right now. Um, okay, Saturn version is good, by the way. Select all this pink. Did we get everything? We didn't even get everything. Clean up your selections, Filardi. God. The way pachinko works, by the way, it's 4% of Japan's GDP, by the way. The way that it works is you get all your balls, you play slots, or you play pachinko, and you have some amount of balls left over. You go redeem them for a toy, and then to get around the gambling laws in Japan, you take that toy like next door to another place, and then use that toy to redeem cash value. Which will be like, it'll be like a little stuffed animal, and it might, that particular stuffed animal might be like, 3,000 yen or whatever, or 40,000 yen. Uh, Something like way higher than its actual value. Uh, it's kind of wild and fun. I think that's pretty neat, but the games are not that cool. Okay, we're getting there. Whew, man, this thing is hard fought, right? Trying to think about how this looks. We're gonna add some flair to her psychic knife. We could do that now, I guess. So this is what I was talking. I'll show you before and after. Like, it's what Konami pivoted. Yeah. Konami started making pachinko games rather than, which kind of made me interested in pachinko because I was like, well, Konami's making it, but like, the other thing is that so Konami's making pachinko games, so I was like, oh, maybe it's good. Maybe it's good and fun, and then But I'm playing on the Saturn, so it's like these older pachinko games that are not like as arcadey and electrifying as like probably the ones that Konami is making, like the Metal Gear Solid stuff, stuff like that. It's probably just not as good as that stuff. Um, they feel very. It's like, slot machines from 1995 versus slot machines now. They're just better now. Um, okay, so you see how this is flaring on the photo? It's like a little bit lighter, a little bit lighter. Um, if you take away the photo, it doesn't look like it's flaring at all. Like, it flares into the line art, but like this makes it look like it's actually glowing, which is why I wanted to do, why we have suffered through that photograph. Um, we're gonna add some highlights and stuff. Oh gosh. So yeah, no pachinko, unfortunately. I think that while I was looking for pachinko games, by the way, I, I think I found a game where you're like managing a pachinko parlor instead of just like playing pachinko, which was extremely disorienting because it just like hit me with a job simulator when I was expecting just a simple pachinko game, and I was like, what is this? What's happening? It was suddenly like a lot of language specific stuff that I was like, oh no, I don't know Japanese. Please stop. How do I quit my job and get down to the pachinko parlor in this game? Did we move? We moved this thing. We moved something. We deleted a swatch. We deleted the swatch that is my a crux to a bunch of actions. I'm a monster. Sometimes it's easy to delete swatches, by the way. I delete them all the time by accident. It sucks. It sucks a lot. All right, we've like warmed up the psychic knife. This is starting to come together. I kind of want to take this yellow that's down here. Let's see if we can throw a grad through this yellow stuff. This yellow second, or like main light source. I was going to call it a secondary light source, but it's not. It's like the hardest hard light source on this thing. Let's just darken it at the bottom a little bit. See how that looks. Ooh, I like it. Ooh, I like it. I don't like it on the arm. Deselect it on the arm. But everywhere else it looks good. Just kind of fade it down. We could even on the on her leg kind of dial it down too. Doesn't have to be as dramatic as on the robot's body. We're doing like, man, this is real freaking in the weeds coloring, by the way. Like, I don't know if this is, because I'm like, this isn't like follow these steps and you'll be a good colorist kind of stuff that we're doing right now. Like, this stuff that I'm doing right now is basically like figuring out each individual tiny piece like as we go. Um, Oh my god, we've made so many color selections. It's like a damn mess. We've pulled so many grads through this thing. It's a mess. I just want the yellow parts. Oh my god, I didn't even see this one down here. That was from last stream. Alright. I just wanted to like darken these up just a little. Not the arm. Not the smoke. Just this. Give it a little bit of a haze. Okay. I feel like we're getting there. I am going to take a quick break. Come back to this with fresh eyes in 1 second. I will be right back. Hey, I'm back. Let's flip this. Can we flip it? Can we even flip canvas? Image. Flip it horizontal. I want to try to like, I don't usually flip canvas, but I just want to see it more fresh. Because I feel like I'm letting it beat me. I don't know if that's true. That's what it feels like, though. Okay. I'll tell you what I'm freaked out to do, and that is try to render Psylocke's skin tone. And kind of make like a soft skin happen with her. So that's like kind of one of my weaknesses. Is one of the things that I'm trying to get better at is like skin tone and like soft skin rendering. So so I'm gonna avoid that. I'm gonna avoid it because it's my stream, and like maybe we can leave it for the end or for another day. Maybe that's future Nick Filardi's problem. You know? That guy, he's got a lot of problems, and we're giving him half of them. Weird that that is brown. There we go. It was showing up as brown. The Japanese train game, by the way, I have the controller for it, so it's kind of a neat thing. But been like hitting up Sendico lately, getting a bunch of Japanese stuff. Uh, I would get a bunch of manga from them, but I can't read Japanese. All right. All right. I feel like we still need to detail the smoke a little bit and push back the building a tad. But for now, I kind of want to like just move on to another yikes. Man, I kind of want to move on to another thing, but I'm not moving on. That's the problem. Move on to another panel. All right, let's get icy. Let's do these windows. I carved this thing out. We didn't do the windows. Okay, so I made a mask. This is the mask. So we should be able to basically color on top of this thing. So like, if we take like this green, you know, we can color on top of, and it's all the windows, but it's not any of the edges or anything like that. So we can kind of do that. I'm gonna set this to screen, and we're gonna take like a light color and kind of make a glare on the windows. So normally windows don't really glare too much normally, but we have to kind of cartoon, like I was saying before at the top of the stream. It needs to feel like windows, and the easiest way to convey that in comics is to basically put these like diagonal kind of like lines through it, like this. This is kind of how I just usually do windows. I kind of just throw in some diagonal lines, and then like it mentally reads as glass. I will take this and kind of like dress it up a little. Take like a textury brush, maybe do a clear, and just kind of like add a little sauce onto it, a little creative kind of stuff on here. It's subtle, especially in the lighter areas, because we're doing like light on top of light, but it makes it read like glass. We're basically creating the idea of glass without actually making it quote unquote realistic. Since we have this screened and this windows, we can actually just like duplicate it. I was just thinking, oh, we should I was thinking about putting a flare here for the building, seeing as we're flaring like crazy over here. This will help push everything back as well. We can flare up Dazzler too. Put some here in the Dazzle sauce. We could even take like this green, a little splatter. Just got like a little bit green, I guess, in there. Is that green working? It's not really working. Green's not really working. We're going to pull the green out. Okay. But the Dazzle stuff looks like it's working all right. And it looks like they're outside and we're inside. So from here, we can work on some of the ice. Now, the ice is going to be kind of the same concept as the metal because it's similar. But we want to make sure that it's cold. And like ice is going to have a little bit more tooth and texture to it. So let's do that. Um, we want to keep this Iceman ice a little bit on the darker side because it needs to read as closer to the camera than further away. Uh, but yeah, man, I feel like this stream has been a lot of just like nuanced little things. I feel like we've been like washing the dishes this entire time. We're gonna blue this guy up too. Um, I feel like it's just been painting little things in, little things in, little things in. Like I don't know if this. I don't know if I'm. What I'm saying is I don't know if I'm selling comic book coloring as like a fun thing to do. if I was if I was watching this stream as somebody who likes comic books, I think the two things that I would come away with are, wow, there's a lot more to comic book coloring than I thought. Also, I never want to do comic book coloring. I think that's where my head would be at. Because oh my god, look at all this nuance and bullshit you gotta do. We're gonna try to make the edge of this thing readable. We can actually brighten that up just a little bit. Little bounce light in here. Man, it's like so warm over here and so cool over here. And I actually kind of really like it. Let's add a little brighter. Yeah. And we can kind of mirror that color over here and try to get like some lines going, some tasteful lines. All that effort's widely recognized by fans and industry. Oh my god. I saw there was a big Twitter to do about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar said that he liked reading a comic book and didn't mention the artist, and then it became like a thing. Um, and then it was like, how do we talk about comics creatively and comic book criticism, and like it became a thing on Twitter. It was a Twitter drama, and then it was like, oh, it all stemmed from the original artist being like, Kareem didn't mention me, which is like kind of a wild thing. It's a wild thing to think of as a colorist because like, yo, I don't get mentioned a lot in reviews. I get uh, the mentions that I get in reviews are like colors by Nick Filardi, and then like read the whole review and no mention of any color stuff. Or I'll get like colors looked good. Nick compliments well with said person. It's like cool. To be fair, I do think that it's difficult to recognize good colors. I think that it's hard to recognize good art, and it's like impossible for, especially if you don't have like a background. If you're just like, I like comics, I'm going to review them. It's incredibly difficult because you just don't have the vocabulary. Like you didn't go to art school. You don't know. You don't know about like the things that are happening on the page to make the thing that you like, you know? This is why you don't go on comics Twitter anymore. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I get it. Um, so we're kind of handling the ice like we handled the metal, but I'm using like a rougher brush because ice has like a texture to it. Uh, Although we are kind of, I don't know what's happening here with his hand. This feels weird. Is this part of it? I can't tell. Well, whatever. It's not part of it right now. Just kind of adding some highlights and stuff. We don't want to put too much into this particular ice because, like I said, it is supposed to be dark. So that's fine. It's fine. It doesn't, you know, blow my hair back, but it's fine. Kareem, someone should tell Kareem it's okay. I think Kareem. You know, I'm going out on a limb, and I think Kareem is going to be fine. I think that he will recover from this. Um, but yeah, somebody should tell him editors and literary agents don't know how to talk about comics either. You're not wrong. To be fair, it's a tough thing sometimes. I feel like this is the problem is that people don't know how to talk about comics, and the fandom doesn't know how to, when people are talking about comics well, when they're doing it well and they're doing it in a smart way, generally the fandom doesn't know what to do with it. You know what I mean? Like it's like you it's like they it's everybody needs to go to art school. Like the fans reading the thing and to understand the thing, and the reviewers in order to review the thing to the level of, you know, criticism for this. So it's like kind of across the board a problem that like nobody knows how to talk about this unless you get super niche. But then if you're super niche, you're not getting any of the market. Like most people don't know what to do, like reading a review that's like going deep on like chiaroscuro and stuff like that. Like they just are gonna glaze over. They don't want homework. They just want to know if the new Iron Man issue is good. You know? Okay, I'm trying to find something. Is that this? Is that this? There's something. Bold of me to assume that school also teaches this. I mean, some schools do. I got taught a lot of this stuff. Uh, Maybe my education was better than I give it credit for. Iron Man. Iceman is fast and loose over here. Like real fast and loose, but he's also like an inch on the page. Most of the drawing is Psylocke knifing Nimrod. We're gonna blue up Iceman's line art. However, we aren't gonna do it for the entire line art. We're only gonna do it at the edge. We only need the edge, I think. Because he needs to read basically as solid as I can get him, and as close as I can get him, which means he needs to be dark. All right, all right. Also, we're gonna lighten up all of his ice slide here so that he's kind of like front and center because we're losing his body into the ice slide. But yeah, it's weird because it's like, you know, I'm deep into the comics stuff, obviously. So like I can go real inside baseball with like how the art is structured and why it's good, but like I feel like your average fan just like does not care, and your average reviewer is like I have to make, the average reviewer has to do like 10 reviews a week, and it's like, you know, they got to crank it out. Okay, let's add some like snow around Bobby a little bit. Maybe, maybe this will look good. I don't know. It will. We just gotta. This is just a lot. We're gonna take some of it out. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the solution is because like everybody just needs to get smarter is the solution. But like, is that realistic? Probably not. Just say it's dry ice. Yeah. It's foaming up like dry ice. All right, so we got his body, and we're icing our way in. The ice is kind of slapdash a little bit. Uh, I feel like I'm kind of rushing. I feel like we might need to just straight up revisit this. I feel like this is one of those pages where because it's like such a difficult page, um, whenever I have pages like this in on my regular like work to do, I'll usually like get in here, do the page, finish it, and then these are all effects, huh? Do it, finish it, put it away, like put it in a drawer, basically a digital drawer. We're gonna group these, and then let myself forget about it, and then take it out again at the very end and be like, okay, how do we plus one this? How do we make this better? Um, I feel like we're gonna have to do that with this. Like, I feel like we're gonna have to get in here, like finish it today, but like not really finish it, and then open it up next week and be like, okay, what did we miss? You know, probably what really needs to happen is basic art education taught earlier while students are still kids. Yeah, high school art education is the key, but that's also a tall order. All that stuff is getting cut from budgets and stuff. There's a site that does, I forget what the site is called. The stream is nothing if not bad information. Um, there's a site that does like teachers will be like, hey, we need this supply or whatever, and you can send them that supply. Like it's like an Amazon wish list, or I guess you pay for it and they buy it, kind of thing. It's really neat. I wish I knew the site offhand, but you can do it for local schools in your area. So it's not just like arbitrary, like I donated to a thing and then I guess they used it like kind of stuff. Um, it's really neat. My buddy Boix, I stream games with occasionally. Um, he donated a hamster to a classroom in his area, and he gets regular updates about that hamster and the kids who are taking care of it. Uh, he says it's the best money he's ever spent. I just put those words in his mouth, but I think it's the best money he's ever spent. Oh, hey, there we go. There we go. Lost the mouse for a second. Yo, her skin tone is real difficult to work with. It is super pink and warm. Is it too warm? I can't tell. What if we raise it up, lower it? I think maybe we're getting there. Oof. Man, there's so much going on in this image that, like I said before, I feel like it's cooking my brain. Like I feel like I need time to process it and come back with it. Come back with a straight head on my shoulders. Fresh eyes. That's what I need, is fresh eyes. She's looking a little something, and I don't know what it is. She's being lit by the psychic knife is the thing. So it's like maybe she needs a little blue in the skin. I think that's probably what needs to happen. Silex looking super red, yeah. She is looking super red. Thinking about how to... It's also... We gotta turn on the effects and stuff, so... See, now she doesn't look super red, but she also looks like maybe she's not necessarily totally there. The red almost makes sense when you turn on all the flares, but not necessarily. Are we just on Psylocke? Yes. And turn on some green highlights, which is wild. And then man, she is looking super red, but I think we can just like desat a little and be fine. Be fine. I don't know. I don't know. So much of this thing is like just me being like, I don't know. What if we took this blue and we put a little bit, no, 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 none of that works, none of that works. We'll put like a little bit here, no, that's not gonna work either. Man, this page is a lot. I can see why everybody gets it wrong. Where's the windows? There. We're going to dial down the windows a little bit because we're kind of going nuts on them. The wild thing is, it's like, okay, now like his symbol also needs to flare. His boots have like little jets in them, so those need to flare. Like this needs to be like this. His eyes need to flare a little bit too. Eyes and mouth. And then the boots. So we gotta select everything that's not him. Alright. We on the same layer? No. No. Yep. Okay. So we're just gonna flare back here. He needs to read as different than Psylocke's knife, so we're just gonna tilt him in a direction. I mean, now he's looking a little red. Now he's looking a little bluer. Neither works very well. There's so much going on this page. Oh my god. I'm happy with what we're doing, but there is so much going on this page. I feel like I want to... There's like a lot of like little stuff that I want to kind of like change. And every time I'm looking at this, I'm like, we should change that. We should change that. This isn't quite working. I'm fighting the temptation to just like flatten it and then just start painting, because I feel like a lot of the effects and stuff are getting in the way. Like the effects kind of like ran away with this in a way where I don't know if it's necessarily constructive. And we're layering stuff up so much that we're doing stuff like this, where we're like, oh, we missed a spot. Man, because there's such a softness with all the glow that we have going on in this panel, it like undercuts the like edge of the blade. Yeah, this is gonna take... Man, this is gonna take a fresh eye and then a new coat of paint, maybe. Let's save the last panel and finishing off with fresh eyes, this Psylocke. Man. Are we just gonna cut the whole sun idea? Maybe. I think it can still look good. I don't know what it needs. like I literally have like what if we turned off all the effects? If we just went back to basics. We'll keep the blue for the... I think part of it is the background. I think the background is just not strong enough. Like, we could just... Part of me is let's just, like, leave it white, push Psylocke back, like, why... Back to formula? Yeah, exactly. Part of me is like, we should just leave it white in the gutter, push Psylocke back, like, call it a day. You know, like, we're putting... The thing is like, okay, here's what happened today. Here's what happened. Here's where... We didn't necessarily go wrong. We definitely went awry, is when we were like, okay, we're going to put a background in. And then when we did that, it kind of like cascaded to a lot of different stuff going on that like we had to then kind of fix and tweak, and then like getting simple things done was like kind of starting to get more difficult. And then, like I said, it kind of undercuts Psylocke's knife. Maybe we should just... No, that's not good. We need to push her back a little bit. I don't think it looks bad. I just saved it, by the way, which means we're committed. I don't think it looks bad. I think that the other thing, there's two other things that are happening. One is I've been staring at it for a long time. Usually, I talk about this before. I feel like I personally have a like 2-hour window where you got to get in, get out, and once you get past that 2 hours, you start like slowly eroding your objectivity to the point where it's like you can't even make good decisions. And I feel like I'm at that point now where I'm not making good decisions. And the other thing is that I'm tired. So I'm trying to like square peg round hole this thing. And I don't know if it's necessarily working. I think that we need to, future Nick Filardi needs to come to this page and have a better idea of what he's doing. Future Nick Filardi's got to really get on this thing, is what I'm saying. So we're gonna save it, and then we're going to call it for today. I guess we're rolling this thing into next week, and we're gonna make it look good. But currently, it does not. It looks okay. It doesn't look bad. It looks okay. It needs a lot. What if I just like across the whole thing just drop some levels on it? I mean, that helps for sure. Part of it too is we're working in CMYK, which is going to look a little different on your screen. And I've got it set up for print. So it looks a little paler than it would be in print, but that stuff's minor. Good colors, good color. Yeah, I don't know. My brain can't tell what this needs. Maybe we need to cut the rim light around the robot. Just like make him pop forward as much as possible. Maybe just down here do the rim light. Maybe that's what we need. I don't know. Literally can't tell. Well, whatever. Back to formula next time. Next time, we're going to start the stream next week, when we work on this again. And it's going to be like, I'm going to open up the stream. It's just going to be flats. And I'm going to be like, starting over. Hopefully it's not that. Hopefully it's not back to formula. But we'll see. We will see. So like I said, we're doing I think we're doing four swords in 2 days, and then on Saturday, that's gonna be on Thursday. We're doing four swords, uh, and then on Saturday, we should be doing some Fire Emblem. We're going to be playing Path of Radiance. I'm close to halfway through it. We're going to try to knock out as much as possible. I might do like a stream before dinner and a stream after dinner. The dog needs walks and stuff, so we got to take some breaks in there. But yeah, and then next week we're going to try to stream a whole lot, work permitting. I have, like I said, I wanted to stream Dasha to Go. That's the train game made by Taito. I have the controller, this like box of a thing with like train controls on it for the Switch. So we're gonna have a cam on the desk. Since I'm gonna be setting up that desk cam, probably gonna crack some packs of something too. I have a old like packs of cards that are video game cards. Like they got video game tips on them and like characters on the front. I don't think it's licensed by anyone, so I think they're really shooting from the hip. I don't know if those books are gonna or those cards are gonna be cool or not, but we'll crack some packs of those at least. I have a box of it, so I think 30 packs or something like that. We'll do some of that next week too. So yeah, keep an eye out for that stuff. Thanks for tuning in, and oh man, we'll get this thing finished eventually. Eventually. Oh man, I'm looking at it now in the other monitor. I'm like, it's gonna be a lot of work. It's gonna be a good page when we get to the end. Mark my words. See you next time.